Hi, I'm Jim and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop. I'm kind of in the middle of tearing apart 3 snappers for parts, so if you need any parts let me know. And I have the old handlebars that a lot of people are looking for. I have about 3 sets of those. But this morning I want to talk to you about starting solenoids or solenoids, however you want to pronounce it. When I'm writing an email, if I don't say solenoids, my phone don't know how to spell it. So we're going to go over the 2 major brands of solenoids. These electrical switches, and that's all this is a very large, heavy-duty electrical switch. Just like the switch you got in your house, only instead of physically flipping a switch, this is done with a magnetic coil. Both of these, same thing. There's a little difference between the two, and I'm going to explain that for you. They both have 2 very large lugs to hook your cables to, and they both have a small spade connector, or this one has a nut and you can use if I had a wire laying there somewhere, a connector like this to put over the lug. This style uses a spade connector. This has both. This one is internally grounded. It only has 1 lug on it, 1 spade connector on it, whatever you want to call it. This one has 2. It is not internally grounded. You can bolt this onto a piece of plastic on your machine if you want to, or you can let it hang nearby. No, that's probably not good. This one has to be bolted to the steel part of your machine, or you can use a wire like this. This one comes with a small wire to help ground this. It would help if you sanded the frame a little bit where one of these feet are going to be bolted to. It's got little tabs sticking out with holes in it. So is this one. This one's a little more easy to mount because it has them on the bottom and the back. I buy these at the big box stores. This is the brand. Little shaking going on there this morning, and that's the part number. If you can, if you can read that. So, to hook this one up, you want to run 1 wire directly from your battery to one of these 2 terminals. Does not matter which one. You run a wire from the other terminal directly to the starter. Now, if you have other electrical connections on your machine, you want to make them on this lug that has the wire coming directly from the battery. That way you don't have a bunch of wires hooked to your battery. And this lug has to have 12 volts coming from the ignition switch to turn this thing on. Now, these don't last forever. DC current is really hard on contacts. If you could see in here, every time these contacts open, it's going to spark. And eventually that's going to burn them up and they're going to quit working. Now, I have a multimeter and it's hanging on the side of the camera so you can hear it when it makes connection. And we're going to hook this to these lugs where your battery and your starter are supposed to be hooked to. And I have a battery sitting over here. Now we got to hook the battery or the ground up to where it's going to be bolted to your machine. And when you turn your ignition switch on, let me unhook this I had one viewer say, well, when I hook this up, I hope you can hear this, it clicks. He said it's clicking, it's working. No, the coil is working. The contacts are probably burned up from use over the years. If it's clicking like that and your starter is not starting, the first thing I tell them to do is hook one end of the red or black cable, it doesn't matter, onto your battery. Take the other end and touch it on the lug on the side of the starter. Make sure the starter works. That's how you hook up this one. This one is not internally grounded. They give you a ground wire. You can plug this wire onto one of the flat spade connectors, and the other end goes underneath the screw that you use to screw this down with. We're going to hook this up the same way. Well, let's see if it clicks first. These big clunky battery cables. You can hear that clicking. That means the magnet's working. Doesn't mean the switch is working. And believe me, I bought these and they didn't work brand new out of the box. Let's hook the meter up. So this one's a good one. Hey, all this crap's made in China. Don't think it's going to work just because it's brand new. Got stuff in my eye. I mowed yesterday and my eyes are still full of sand. Now again, when you hook your battery cable up and your starter cable, it does not matter which one of these it goes on. And when you hook this one up, when it has two connectors down here, one of them has to go to ground, one of them has to have a wire coming from your ignition switch. It does not matter which way you hook that up. This one, it does. The 12-volt wire coming from your ignition switch has to go to this one terminal. And that's all there is to solenoids, whatever you want to call them. They all run on 12 volts. All the ones you buy for your lawnmowers. You can get, I buy a lot of these for the shop that I turn machine motors on and off. But that's the ins and outs of solenoids. If you have any questions or comments, send me an email at jimsfixitshop@gmail.com, and don't forget to subscribe. I really need subscribers. And I guess until next time, work safe, have fun, and I'll talk to you soon. So long.